It's tough talking about somebody when they're sitting next to you, so I think we should include that person in the conversation.
Particularly when he's in arm's reach of you as well.
One of the great cue actions, that first of all comes to mind. I mean, it's not just about the cue action, you can flatter to deceive, but your cue action right from the start has been a strength of yours, I think. You've obviously studied the game and you realise that you want to get everything in place that gives you the best solid platform to then give any talent you've got to produce.
Yeah, well, I was very lucky that as a child, you know, my dad took me aside and taught me the basics of the game and you know, really hammered home the importance of good basics and a good strike. And you know, we used to have lots of different practice routines to generate straight cueing and consistency, you know, going through open match boxes and all sorts, you know, with the contents taken out, and if the box moved, it failed, and it was all about gearing up for a good straight action.
When you're analysing things or when you're watching from the commentary box, it's just one beautiful motion, isn't it? Back and forth like a piston and straight through the cue ball.
Safety play and tactical play I can now do. I'm much better at it than I've ever been.
But you don't want to do it.
But I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't get any enjoyment out of it. But at the end of the day, I'm playing snooker to win it. So I now understand, as a more mature mid-30s, that I've got to play that style of game sometimes if I want to compete for tournaments. But I'd much rather be going for my pots, going for my shots, enjoying the game, and seeing what happens.
Do you think that's the reason sometimes why you haven't been as successful as you possibly could have been? Like you haven't, where you've come unstuck against players that we would say, you know, sitting in the studio or in the commentary box, that you should win this game easily, and you haven't done, and you've let things slip?
Absolutely, I'm guilty of playing the wrong shot at the wrong time. But I always, when I get to a stage of being on the hill, you know, just needing one more to go to get the victory, I like to try and press for the victory. I don't want to wait for my opponent to give me the chance, and so sometimes I've beaten myself, played too an aggressive shot, opened the pack up unnecessarily, stuff like that, and it has come back to haunt me, and I'm still learning.
I think you should take a leaf out of myself and Stephen Hendry's book, which is to be a bad loser.
There and then after the match is finished, if I'm asked a few questions, or at the final if I'm the runner-up, I am in that moment genuinely pleased for my opponent and also thankful for the sort of opportunities that I've had. But when I get home and I have to think about it, then I get a bit annoyed about things, and
What,
you start
a bit
being
annoyed?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like terrible.